All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Complexity Casting Scrimcast Live, bringing you coL Scrims right here. Complexity taking on Trademark eSports. I'm your casting host, Beef, and joining me from Hodcast, the man himself, Tralf. Glad to have you here, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was reading some stuff just getting some confirmation and yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be good. I actually just watched the game or the scrim, this game before of Complexity versus Mist,
Yeah, I was casting that.
and someone in the spectator chat is going insane. Can you hear that?
No, I've got it on
Oh,
ignore.
oh, I don't know how to do that.
I don't know either, but somehow I'm
I
not
can't
hearing
even
it, so
hear
that's good.
myself. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I don't know. You could disable voice chat, I suppose. But, well, yeah, I mean, Complexity running with Riser in the last game. And I know LesQQ is actually online right now. So
Yeah,
is this a tryout for Riser? Do you know what's going on?
I think it is. I'm not
Okay.
100%, but I think it is. Sorry, I muted it now, so
Okay,
now I'm
no
good.
problem.
But yeah, no, I was saying I was watching Complexity Scrim Mist, and they actually lost that game, and
Yes.
they were running Riser as well on their roster for that game. So yeah, I think you're right. I think they are trying out Riser, and I think it's to be in that more jungle position because I don't think they were too comfortable, to be honest, with Moon playing jungle. Not that he did a terrible job, but I just think that's not his forte, and they want him to stay in that suicide role. And I think that suits him best. So they're trying out, I think, more jungle players because I don't think that LesQQ has any experience in the jungle. So yeah,
Yeah, so Riser, I mean, what's his experience look like in the jungle? I mean, I've known him primarily as a suicide player.
right. Yeah, that's what I think most people know him as. Is a very strong suicide player. He does play a few heroes in the jungle very well. Like he plays a really good Keeper of the Forest, but and then also plays a very good Legionnaire. But other than that, I haven't really seen him play that much more. Oh, you know what? He actually plays a very good Ophelia too. So he's not a bad jungle player. And as they pick up Keep of the Forest, actually, so we're going to probably see him play some Keep of the Forest this game. One thing
Yeah.
about the lineup that tdM has too is they're not using Fitzky right now, as Slicks is ringing. So I'm very curious as to who's going to actually be the this hard support for this scrim.
Yeah, interesting. Is we're actually pretty far into the picking stage here. Got kind of started a little bit late and then distracted talking about other things, but well, just gonna really not even go over much of anything. Just look at the teams here as tdM does finish up. Gonna be Minuts on Plague Rider, perhaps? No, he's gonna be in the jungle. But tdM picks up Plague Rider, Aluna, Dark Lady, Legionnaire, and Bubbles. So gonna be going with the hard carry there for Slicks, and then of course Minuts on Legionnaire. Very good at that. What do you think about the tdM team overall?
It's really strong. And it looks like they are going to remake. But I love Legionnaire. I've always been a huge fan of Legionnaire after they changed the career from blocking neutral spawns. I think it was a huge indirect buff to Legionnaire, and people I just think forgot about it. I think for like the first week after the change, people were like, oh yeah, Legionnaire is much stronger now because now you can't counter him with a courier. The only thing you can do is block it with a ward. And then after about a week, people just kind of forgot about him. But I think he's really strong. I think he brings a lot to the table from start to finish. Legion has a really strong lineup too. They have tons of stuns. So both teams actually have very strong lineups.
Yeah, of course, that Magnus Engineer lane most likely going to be played mid, but I mean, really, wherever they play it, going to be very strong. And like you said, we are going to be remaking AP. I'm not sure, maybe somebody was on the wrong hero or something, but we'll get invites back to that momentarily. But taking a look at that lineup again, Magnus, Engineer, Silhouette, I believe Wretched Hag, and Keeper of the Forest. Is that correct? Was there a Hag on there, or am I
Yeah,
wrong about that?
on complexity
Yeah. Okay,
side.
so that's going to be, there's going to need to be a lot of farm going around with the Wretched Hag and the Silhouette both needing to get lots and lots of farm. And then, of course, Keeper of the Forest and Magnus both needing to find their initiation items.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm a very visual person. I have to go back and actually see the lineups to get an understanding about how they're going to lane it and stuff like that. I forget so easily.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that Hag is. Well, hold on a second. That means they're going to have to. They're not going to be running a suicide because Keeper of the Forest is going to have to jungle. So I think that it's going to have to be like a Silhouette short lane Hag mid with a long lane Magnus Engie to put the
Oh,
Keeper in the jungle.
I would assume it would actually be Hag in the long lane, and
Really?
yeah, Mag Engie mid, and
Okay.
then
I guess it depends who's playing it as well. But we'll see here momentarily.
I mean, the
And
thing is it's pretty risky to go long lane, especially Legionnaire's not exactly the most aggressive jungler, but he can he can do work by ganking side lanes once he hits level 3 if he decides to go for a level 3 taunt. So it's kind of risky running up in the long lane with Mag NG.
yeah, it certainly can be. And have you gotten an invite to this? I don't think the game's actually started just yet.
No, it's not. I'm just gonna wait until the lobby changes to picking. So
Yeah, okay, that'll work. Well, we will get in there momentarily. And, well, until then, how are you, Tralf? How's your week going?
not too bad. Not too bad. It snowed like crazy up here. Like,
Really?
yeah, huge winter storm. I
That's
guess it wasn't that big, but it was like tons of snow, and then on top of that, lots of wind. So it just felt like I was in like Moscow, Russia, or something.
yeah, I mean, I suppose it's got to be weird for you and Breaky. I mean, he coming from Southern California. You're from Seattle area, like
Seattle.
Washington, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, last year was one of the worst storms the state's ever had. Like it was a huge portion of the state completely. Like no, I had no power for over a week. In fact, at the time, I was playing in certain tournaments for Han, and I had to miss a lot of them because of no power. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Southern California over here as well, just like Breaky. In fact, we went to the same school for a period of time.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't know each other at the time, but yeah, we did go to the same college for a year. And yeah, it would be very weird to have that much snow. We of course get it in the mountains up here in California and stuff, but certainly not something I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And okay, I'm getting back into this lobby now. No, I guess I'm not getting back into the lobby just yet. But well, there's that. So I'm looking at gold matchups today, and you were actually mentioning, well, might be some casting going on at some point, but there's some really good gold matchups going on today. Absolute Legends was going to be taking on, oh man, they were taking on Pudge.
Yeah, I
Maybe?
don't remember. I looked at them briefly as well, but the thing that stood out to me already was that you mentioned Absolute Legends. They got knocked down to the losers bracket already, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
did Pikachu. They got knocked down
Yes,
as well.
Pikachu. It was Absolute Legends versus Pikachu, and then there was Pudge versus 007. That
Huh,
was in
okay,
the winners
well, that's
bracket.
some pretty decent teams there then.
Yeah, for being a Tuesday on a Gold Week, that's already really good teams. I mean, you might expect it on a Thursday or a Friday, but certainly going to be fun there. So I'm probably going to be casting some of those later. Might be doing it from replay, maybe live. Depends on scrims, but hell, and even Diamond this weekend. Looking like it's going to be some very, very strong matchups, and Complexity going to be taking on QSQ in the first round, as well as Lions playing against TTEs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It looks like their game has actually started, so if you
Yeah.
can jump back in,
Yep.
should be good to go.
Jumping back in right now. And here we go. Okay. So we're getting back into it once more. All right, guys, this has been Complexity Casting. No, cast is not over just yet, but it seems like we've been in here forever. But guys, if you're just joining us, this is Beef and Tralf bringing you coL Scrims. Complexity taking on Trademark eSports here. Both teams using a little bit of a different player. Actually, no, never mind. Fitsky is back in here for Slicks
I think that's
now.
why they remade, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, Wretched Hag has actually got the ward. Running up mid right now, but yeah, probably is going to be in that suicide role and suicide lane. Keep the forest in the jungle, no surprise there. And then Silhouette solo short, most likely. She actually has interesting solo short items. Normally you always see the Guardian Ring on a solo short, especially ranged hero. But yeah, going the double duck boot build, I guess.
Yeah, going to get a little bit more damage out of that, a little more attack speed and armor, but like you said, very, very standard to get that Guardian Ring. You want that for, be able to push whenever anybody else is not in the lane, and also just to get your mana back. Just great item for lane control all around. And
Well, this is why actually Magnus is soloing bottom. So it's going to be a dual range lane in the mid with Silhouette and Engineer. Haven't seen this before. So I'm very
Yeah.
curious as to how Magnus is going to fare up against Plague Rider. One of the things too, it's very obvious what tdM's lanes are. Very obvious. It's if anything, you know you're going up against a Plague Rider in a long lane. So as a melee hero, being Magnus, I think it would have been really smart for Complexity to pull him a lot of regen. But he has none. or no extra regen, I should say. Not to mention he doesn't have a shield, so it's going to not mitigate any damage from this Plague Rider. Now, an Engineer might come down here and it might just go solo mid Silhouette. That could be the case, and it looks like that's what Franzi's doing it right now. But there you go. So they are going to guarantee the farm onto Magnus.
All right, so I mean, going for that very heavily farmed Magnus is something that we haven't seen in a long, or at least for me, in a couple of months, where they actually short lane Magnus and just guarantee that farm on him, actually get him up to like 400 GPM really early on. Most of the time he's in more adverse lane conditions, setting up some ganks earlier. What do you think about this decision?
Yeah, it is interesting because Complexity used to do that all the time. Like, Beacon would always play Magnus, they would short lane him, just guarantee farm on him. He'd come out with like a 10-minute Ghost Marchers plus Blink or what have you. And it worked out really well. They haven't done it for a long time, so I'm bringing it back. And the mid lane, Silhouette versus Bubbles, this is kind of even, to be honest. They're both pretty damn good. Bubbles has a little bit more damage with his spells early on, and has a little bit better rune control. I think, but I said this actually on coLcast recently, I think Bubbles mid is extremely strong right now. And I don't think the teams do it enough, to be honest. But Axron doing a good job here early on, getting some spam at the same time as well as getting some CS.
What's going on with Moonmander up here in this jungle?
Well, I don't know. He's just sitting up here and trying to screw Legionnaire, I suppose, because he knows he can't do anything up top.
Yeah, and well, Mynuts, he's not even going to be able to kill anything right now. But Moon's just standing there in that position for a long time. And now, in fact, going to try to go over. I think he might have been trying to time it to break a potion, which would have completely screwed over Mynuts. But, wow, very interesting, knowing that he wasn't going to be able to get a ton of farm in the top lane, or really any farm or experience. Just going to use his time for right now to try to go for a little bit of, harassment on this Legionnaire.
Yeah, and Fitsky, I thought he was actually going to pull that lane to get some extra farm for himself, but he runs into it and actually takes some creeps for a little bit there. But they realize something's up. Like, they know he's around here or something, but no one has ever seen this before, so they don't exactly know where he is. They probably just figured that they placed another ward there.
Yeah, we'll see if they start bringing out counter wards. And in fact, Hag is going to try to kill Legionnaire. Like, that's what it was, is he's trying to time this so that he can get an early kill on Legionnaire, and in fact now just going to steal some creeps. So, wow, Moon, this is so evil.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in trouble, though. Bubbles is coming over.
Die.
Yeah, he's going to die. Shell Surf not going to connect. And, well, there's the power throw. Down goes Moonmeander. Bloodlust there for a tdM. Limp gets it. So, creative strategy. And, I mean, that's what really Scrims are for, is testing things like that out. You wouldn't see him doing that in a tournament match, that's for sure.
Oh, and Legionnaire dies. I think he bought out, though. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think he did. So we have a level 1 Legionnaire who's died to nude. It's a level 1 Hag that died to the first blood. Good job, by the way, by Limp by transitioning from mid. He could have just kept farming those creeps, but he really took advantage of the level 1 Blink that Hag has, which is really low, high cooldown and a low range. So
yeah, very good job with that. Now in the bottom lane, once again, I mean, B-Kid down here on Magnus with Engineer. A lot of times you don't like to run 2 against a Plague Rider because he's always going to be able to just do okay. Magnus Engie, in my opinion, like one of the few combos that might actually be able to just run Plague out of the lane, just because of the sheer strength and distance at which they can start stunning down this Plague Rider.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is a pretty damn good lane. They are losing lane control slowly but surely, but that's all fixed out right now because Franzi bought that counter ward. Or wasn't even warded by Plague in the first place. I don't know. Yeah, actually, there's no counter ward even placed up here. So that's kind of that's a big thing. As a Plague Rider, you really need to get that warded. So what they did actually is they warded the top rune by Fitzgift. You see this right over here by his observatory. They warded that, and then he warded also Zai himself, warded down here towards the bottom rune and around the jungle. So that's redundant. They don't really need that. They have vision of the rune regardless. They don't need the second one up top. So the fact that they didn't have to ward the pole is what makes this lane even stronger, because now they have lane positioning in this bottom lane. So, yeah, I don't agree with that at all from tdM.
Yeah, very interesting, but, well, not going to be able to get that lane control in the bottom lane after all, and Zai will continue to have a kind of rough time. Magnus going to just keep on finding his farm, and Legionnaire, speaking of finding farm, he's gotten some help from Aluna. He's going to be able to actually take out Some Minotaurs right there, some big camps, and there's a big old deep dive going on to Moonmeander over here, and Moon will go down. Did you happen to catch that?
Yeah, just the very end of it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a really good job. And one of the things about Dark Lady that people forget, because we haven't seen that much of Dark Lady, to be quite honest. But one of the things you forget is that against Suicide Heroes, if you go for very, very early Ghost Marchers, you can totally man up on people.
Oh yeah.
You can totally man up. And he's actually not even got 3 into his Taint Soul. He's only got 2, so he's doing a lot more damage from the Dark Blades. And against a Wretched Hag, you have to rely on that blink, and if you can't use it, and level 1, even if you can with the Ghost Marchers up on the Dark Lady, you can literally catch up to them after they blink because it's such a short range.
Oh, no boots on Moonmeander, something like that. I mean, you're just moving so damn slow compared to a Ghost Marcher's up Dark Lady with the Charging Strike. Yeah, so you can definitely man up. I play Suicide sometimes, and I always forget that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be just fine back here. Oh, just kidding. Dark Lady just killed me. Can be very, very irritating, but Noob G definitely farming well in that top lane. 382 gold per minute, about 70 GPM higher than the short lane farmer on the other team.
Yeah. One of the things I was going to point out, as I lost my train of thought, but look at Legionnaire compared to Keeper of the Force as far as the levels are concerned. He got screwed with so hard, and actually they're stacking the Ancients, and maybe you're going to try to take him. And the Complexity realizes something's up.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Ooh, no. Keeper looked like he wanted a root in there, and I'm sure if he had some boots to actually run them down, might have gone for the root. Legionnaire, he's full up on HP again. Plague Rider's going to have to back off, though. And, well, I'm kind of surprised that they're not engaging on this Legionnaire. I guess they don't know what the transition's looking like from middle lane. But as Bubbles reveals themselves, now Keeper's going to come on in. Activates those tree dogs. Magnus is there with the Lava Surge. The keg comes in as well. And Legionnaire does go down. Looks like Complexity even going to be able to steal these Ancients.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty greedy play, honestly, by MyNuts. Especially with Magnus coming around. Good job by B-Kid by realizing that he could have gotten that kill. And they're going to push this bottom tower as a result. Before that death, though, I was going to say, look at how well MyNuts has recovered. I mean, he's only 1 level below this Keeper of the Forest, and he got screwed so hard in the jungle early on. But after that death, it doesn't really matter. You got some Ancients farmed, you got the tower farmed. Bika got a kill. There wasn't actually Bika, no Franz, he got credit for the kill, but nonetheless, they still got a kill. And they have a huge golden experience, well, not huge, but a decent golden experience laid early on now.
Yeah, getting that map control as well. With pushing that bottom tower, going to be a little bit harder for Legionnaire to try to farm out those Ancients. And in fact, leaving 1 creep there to maybe stop the stacking for a little while. Gonna be taking tier 2 here, as well as the Hellborn team doesn't really have a whole lot to deal with this. Their anti-push is relatively minimal at this stage. And this tower should go down as, well, looks like Complexity happy to take 2, no problem.
Yeah, I feel like Fitska needs to transition and move here. Because even if it's a level 2 power throw, that could help a lot. And if she's setting up shop at the bottom lane, and just waiting for the push, and then Bubbles transitions over. Like, a nuke from Bubbles, a nuke from Luna, the push is pretty much over this early on. So she's trying to soak up and do a lot of pulling up here, but this is an open lane. Like, TDL can kill Hag anytime she wants, anytime Hag comes up here. So having the Luna in the lane really doesn't do anything. The only thing it does is maybe try to get her a little bit more farm from the neutrals and stuff, but she clearly hasn't gotten it because she doesn't have boots yet. And it's only level 4, so I think Luna needs to transition and move around.
Yeah, that could be happening. As in the middle lane, Bubbles just gets absolutely disintegrated. The root right there just coming into play, but Magnus showing off that Steam Boots plus Portal Key at 8 minutes in.
Wow, that is so early. That is so early.
And this is what we talked about. Complexity used to do this all the time. And Magnus actually gets Steam Boots here, so perhaps feeling like he needs the extra strength to actually survive maybe a Dark Lady charge, something like that. Something that a Magnus might be vulnerable to.
Yeah, it's just going to give him a lot more... you can get a lot more usage out of your Steam Boots, I think specifically on Strength Heroes, because you can toggle them all the time. Normally, I've actually heard Beakid say he normally doesn't like to get Steam Boots on Magnus unless he goes for a bottle as well, so you can get the full effectiveness out of a bottle, but I think it's just fine in this instance. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Yeah, no problem with it here as well. It's just interesting because normally he goes for those Ghost Marchers, and well, going to continue to farm. Complexity now up 5,700 gold, 9.5 minutes into this game, and that is a very big lead. I mean, hero kill score does not tell the story of this game. It is very much so told in just really what's happened, especially in this bottom lane, being able to prevent Minuts from getting anywhere near the farm that you would normally want to see on a Legionnaire. And of course, B-Kid getting that extremely early portal key. tdM is going to be very, very scared. And you can already see in the warding right here from Franzi, they're looking to be aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, the tower pushes are huge too. Like, Moonmeander hasn't participated in a kill, has died twice himself. He was a suicide lane, has only, what, 8 CS? But he's got Steam Boots, power supply, the mana battery, and a Grave Locket, and a Homecoming Stone. He's level 4.
How?
That's just a testament to like how important these tower pushes have been, and how much they've affected complexity early on. Because, yeah, that's pretty scary when your Suicide Hag has those items and had that bad of a start.
Yeah, I just don't understand like how that seems like way more than just 3 tower pushes. But I guess he's been in the vicinity for one of the kills. Didn't get an assist, but just getting that proximity gold from one of the kills there in that middle lane. And making sure not to feed. 10 minutes into the game, 2 dents, not losing a whole lot there. So interesting. Well, great job to move level 4 with those items. It just doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Well, it's the tower gold. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't really done anything this game at all, except for block the small camp of the Hellborn side.
Oh,
but
Magnus channeling the ultimate. And the eruption as Lava Surge hits as well. Keg finishes him off as Franzi gets credit for the kill. And Limp going down there in the middle lane. Magnus putting that portal key to use.
Yep, definitely. I mean, he caught it so damn early. Franzi actually using the keg to kill some trees so he can buy some consumables. Lots of them, actually. And look at the engineer, too. He's got Steam Boots as well as a mana battery. And he has a farm support. That's why I said early on, like, I really feel like Vitsky needed to move around as a Luna. I think that was the biggest thing. Like I said, when you had that huge deficit in levels on Moonmeander compared to Noob G, who already had the Ghost Marchers very, very early on, you don't need anyone to help you in that lane. He can get his kills all he wants, all by himself. So, Aluna still doesn't have boots. And it's not like she's fed or been out of position or anything like that. It's just like they haven't been responding to the very early pushes, and this is going to start to snowball.
Certainly, it's going to start to snowball as triple stack Ancients just stole right there. Complexity, the Ward of Sight that just expired near those Ancients. And they've been monitoring that and just saying, okay, well, thanks for stacking those for us, guys. We'll come clean them up now, extending that gold lead even more. And, well, Riser on Keeper of the Forest, I mean, he could be making his way toward a portal key if that's what he wants. But for right now, they're just making their way toward the middle lane. Going to look to push down this defensive tower as Franzi has a nice ward there behind the tower. Going to be able to spot out Vision. And Magnus might look for a Lava Surge here momentarily.
Yeah, they're looking. They got to pay very fast. There's the surge.
Keg comes in. Boom. There you go.
That's all she wrote. I mean, this is just going to get so overwhelming for tdM. The one thing that they got, though, they do have a very, very farm Dark Lady. The thing is, though, it feels like this game with some more aggression onto Plague Rider. The stun comes in. There's the follow-up from Moon, who's actually only level 5, but still doing a lot of damage. Plague ult is up, but doesn't matter. Just gets disintegrated. And the thing is this is playing out. Look at all these towers that are dead. It feels like it's like a 40-minute game, but it's only 13 minutes in.
Yeah.
Like the towers that they're pushing right now. It feels like it should be like a 35, 40-minute game, but they're just being very aggressive with these tower pushes from the get-go.
Now, Dark Lady has farmed very well. 425 gold per minute, nothing to scoff at there. The problem is that by the time she finishes up her Rune Cleaver, which is now, she has the money to buy it, they're going to be pushing down the 5th and 6th towers, and there's not going to be anywhere for her to farm, especially with the Legionnaire on the team as well, that's going to need stacks in order to get himself back into the game.
Exactly.
And, well, they're even going to be looking for a kill right here on the Legionnaire as, well, the root not going to come out just yet because of the taunt. There's the root coming in. Hag has the Bat Blast available. Haunt goes up. And there's rotation coming in from tdM and the Complexity team choosing to back on up. Plague Rider is there. Blink going to be coming in. The Plague Rider ultimate going to be coming out. Bouncing between a lot of creeps and Riser will go down. Eruption being channeled by Magnus. Big Eruption. 2-man Lava Surge. They both go down. Emerald Red Lightning going to be coming in and Hag will take the fall. Keg not going to connect. But Aluna still in a lot of trouble. Energy field going down and Aluna taking some auto attacks. One more set of auto attacks. Magnus might even just go on up but not even needed. Magnus looking for the Lava Surge here on Legionnaire but able to escape with those Ghost Marchers. Now looking for Bubbles, but he will escape. Nope! Just kidding. Keg takes cover the Keg. But here's the body block's going to be coming in. Hacks are not going to be going in for the kill just yet. And body block's not going to be enough. Magnus actually needs to back up. And Legionnaire going to be coming in. Almost got that charge off. Not quite able to. And now the Complexity team going to be in full retreat. Gets the charge off this time. On, but no. Beacon says, what's up? Hits the Lava Surge, the portal key, and jets on out of there.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see a lot more of the farming Magnus from Complexity because, like we mentioned before, it seemed like it worked so well in the past, and they just kind of stopped doing it. And you know, I think the biggest thing too is that the fact that they had a Silhouette also mid. So one of the things they used to do was a farming Magnus, and then some kind of mid hero that just wouldn't die against perhaps a dual lane mid or a strong mid or something like that. But they went with their carry mid in this instance, and it hasn't been that bad, honestly. I mean, look at his farm; it's top in the game actually, 462. Now, a lot of that is tower pushes as well, but they're just fighting these fights early on with tons of stuns, like I mentioned, on their team.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, the lack of rotation coming out from tdM to prevent these early pushes is what really got them in this hole.
Yeah, they have not rotated perfectly, but they're doing their best right now and trying to find the farm wherever they can, which when your map is this pushed in, when you have this limited of ward vision, because and Aluna's broke. She's trying to get up as many wards as she can, but right now the only ward that she has is actually covering the middle and top rivers. So not going to be able to prevent anybody from coming in and stealing. The Ancient's not going to be able to have any lane wards here for the top lane, as now the push is starting to come in, so that lack of lane ward might hurt, but they're not even remotely looking to take this fight. They know that they can't take it. Just going to let this tower drop, try to counter push, which I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But look at the gold lead. It's just immense. At 16 minutes, a 10k gold lead is like, I want to compare it to like something like 35 minutes in. It's like 20k, it feels like. So it's getting kind of out of hand for for Complexity. And as far as bouncing back in this game, I don't know. You don't really have any, like you have the core item on Dark Lady, but that's about it. And again, that's an item that just helps you farm more. And it's not really like I got this item, I'm ready to fight. It's more of I got this item, I'm ready to farm more.
Yeah, I got this item, I'm ready to fight is when she has like an Abyssal Skull and a Shrunken Head and a Frostburn or something to actually do some damage.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem with Dark Lady, and perhaps one of the reasons that we don't see her as often is she does not have as much early game potential as some of these other carries like your Silhouette or even your Draconis or your Moon Queen. Just by virtue of their spells, they're able to do a lot of damage. Whereas the Dark Lady really does need those items because she puts herself in the middle of those team fights. And as we've gotten further and further into this metagame of early pushing and counter pushing, trading towers and dodging fights, well, Dark Lady perhaps doesn't do that as well as the rest of those three strong ranged carries.
Yeah, I don't think though that Dark Lady is the reason why they're in such a hole and can't really find an opening this game.
Oh,
because
no, most certainly not.
The reason why these ranged carries like Silhouette and Draconis are so popular, and even Moon Queen for that matter, and they're picked up all the time, is because they can, one, carry really hard, that's awesome, but two, they can also win their lane. So it's a carry hero that also wins their lane against almost any suicide. In this instance, though, Dark Lady was up against such a gimped Hag that it didn't matter. Like, she could have killed, like I said, over and over, that she could have killed Hag over and over. So I don't think it was really Dark Lady that's the problem. I think it's more of I think any hero could have been in Dark Lady's position this game for tdM, and it would have been the same effect. To be honest, there's just so many towers that just went, unattended on tdM's side. That, like I said, any hero in Dark Lady's position would have had just as much of a rough time. Now it's still not over yet. Like Dark Lady can really pump out damage. I think she's going to go for just a straight Shrunken Head, like no Abyssal Skull. She knows that she needs to fight in these team fights, so pretty sure we're going to see a Shrunken Head as fast as possible onto Noob G.
Yeah, and once he gets that Shrunken Head and does get active in the team fights, I mean, it's going to come down ultimately to catching Complexity either by themselves, which, I mean, there's definitely precedent for some coL players getting caught out by themselves as the portal key's going to come on in right here. And Fitzy's going to take a Lava Surge. And comes in, drops the Bat Blast, and kill secured there by Moonmeander. But, yeah, it's going to come down to either catching them out of position or by themselves, or just maybe some poor initiation from Complexity. I've seen them have leads like this before, and with Magnus, actually, as well. Double damage Silhouette, just tearing Legionnaire apart in the bottom lane, so I don't know. We'll see. The lead just seems almost too big to throw away at this point.
It's way too big. I think they might just wait for a Shrunken on Noob G and then fight one fight with that. If it doesn't go well, they'll concede. They're probably on the verge of conceding this, to be honest. as far I mean, this is a scrim and you're trying things out, but yeah, they'll probably just wait just a little bit until she gets that shrunken head, see if they can make anything miraculous happen. Highly unlikely, though. I mean, you have a Hellflower up on the moon. I think he just purchased it. A Hellflower in the works for Beacon as well. And again, this is a Wretched Hag that got literally nothing, died twice, like basically back-to-back early on.
A Wretched Hag that spent the first 2 minutes of the game literally hiding in the small camp.
Yeah, exactly.
But Moon done very well for himself so far, and Hag gonna actually assist on cleaning up some triple stacks over here. Haxorn gonna get some of them, but Moon also getting his hands on a few of those. Portal key came in and actually scared me right there. I was like, oh god, that's a portal key on somebody. I don't know who has a portal key. And, oh, I do that in TMM sometimes.
Well, yeah, Legionnaire has his portal key, and I guess that's another item that's like, well, I have my portal key now, let's fight, and if it doesn't work, then we'll throw in the towel. But Shrunken Head up on the Dark Lady in, what is that, like 500, 600 gold or so? 500 gold? So that'll be good. Yeah, they'll probably just fight one more fight and see how that goes.
Yeah, and I mean, with that Shrunken Head on Dark Lady, always a very real possibility that she can get in there and just shred some of the squishy ints. I mean, even Silhouette, 1400 life. A lot of her life, or her items have just been spent on mobility. They've been spent on damage. Well, now a little bit more life. But if Dark Lady gets right on top of her with one stun or one taunt from Legionnaire, could very well take out that Silhouette. Yeah. So we'll see. There's always a possibility, and Legionnaire now with his portal key and a level 3 taunt, very real possibility that he can get on top of somebody like Magnus right here that perhaps doesn't know that the portal key's already been finished up. There it is. Taunt comes into decapitation as well, and Hag actually using her Hellflower onto Legionnaire. She's got to be a little bit careful now. Taunt's up in 7 more seconds. Not going to actually come to fruition yet.
Yeah, and we might actually see. Oh, Noob G was running in there. And I was going to say that with the blink onto Legionnaire and then Shrunken Head's up soon on Dark Lady, the two main targets you should be going for are both.
There's a taunt coming out onto Wretched Hag. Song of the Sea comes in. There's the Shell Surfer. Luna gets cleaned up, as does Bubbles. And Silhouette's in some trouble as well. The Kelpfield going to keep her in place.
Oh my god.
Okay, so when I said that this lead was too big to throw, disregard that. Like, everything that Tralf and I just said for the past like 5 minutes about how Complexity is just in an incredible position, well, tdM just found the chink in the armor.
Yeah, there was that portal key on Legionnaire. Totally cut him off by surprise. I mean, the death onto Beacon at first, I mean, that's understandable. You hadn't seen it yet. You don't know. You don't expect it. But the positioning right there by the rest of the team was just pretty bad. But a good jump by tdM.
Very good jump.
That was fantastic. And, as we get to the late game, one of the things you look at is, Dark Lady is actually thought of as a very strong counter against specifically Silhouette, another hard carry. Because until you get a Shrunken Head, I mean, she can actually use Geometers to get out of the silence from the Dark Blades, but it will just get reapplied. So it's not like a real big counter to it, because you can just keep attacking after she splits, and then she's re-silenced. Until you get like a Shrunken Head, Dark Lady's she's just going to screw you over, I feel. But the two main targets here for tdM, as they bounce back into this game, surprisingly, are going to be that Magnus and that Hag, specifically. Because they offer so much to the team, especially Hag, but she will die in like 3 auto attacks from Dark Lady, I feel. Like, she has 900 HP. And Magnus doesn't exactly have the most HP either, not to mention his armor is very low, if I remember correctly. It's only like, 5.7. So it's not the highest armor in the world.
Yeah, definitely going to take a lot of damage, but, well, perhaps one of the reasons that B-Kid went with the Steam Boots this game is I know that when I'm playing Magnus that I do get very afraid of Dark Ladies because they can just crush you. Use that Lava Surge to farm and you can just die right there. As Luna's actually going to be the one dying. Lava Surge actually hits Dark Lady right there. As Dark Lady gets the Shrunken Head delivered, activates it immediately, breaking the root, and is going to try to make her way out of there. Has Charging Strikes up in 1 second and will be able to get away right into his team, though, as the ultimate going to be coming out here for Plague Rider inside the Kelp Field. Eruption being channeled up, and Eruption comes in. Lava Surge hits Plague Rider. Plague Rider will go down, and Legionnaire actually coming in right there. Didn't have, well, did he drop the taunt? What the hell just happened?
He did, yeah.
Didn't really seem to do a whole lot. His Limp's going to try to get out of there, but Hellflower brings him down. And so tdM going in one at a time there. Ends up losing 3 and not able to take anybody out.
Oh man, I cannot believe that Plague Rider ultimate was so unlucky. Yeah,
And it
BXG
bounced to the
says.
creeps. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's always aggravating, man. It's very aggravating. Now, Shrunken Head is down on Dark Lady. Now, you did have some big cooldowns used by Complexity. They still have Engineer ult, which is good for them. And Geometer's Bane and Hag ult.
Oh,
Here we
Tron
go,
goes
though.
out right there onto Engineer. The charge comes in. There's the charging strikes as well. Riser could be in some trouble. 3-man Lava Surge comes out with the Bat Blast hitting 2 players. Dark Lady is going to go down. Good deny right there from Minuts, but he's in trouble now as well. He's going to go down. The Shell Surf comes in right there, but Plague takes the fall. Bubbles goes down as well. Buyback right there onto Legionnaire. Gets the taunt. Magnus comes in with another Lava Surge. Wretched Hag will go down. And Keeper of the Forest going to drop the Invis, trying to get out of there. Legionnaire dies to the Mighty Silhouette. And Complexity taking a big team fight right there. Everybody low on cooldowns as well. And, well, will they be going in here for additional push? I don't know.
Well, there's a good snipe there by Fitsky, trying to delay it a little bit, but Legionnaire died, bought out, died again. He's not going to have another buyout. Darkly is dead from the 30. Can't buy out. Bought Abyssal Skull and a Shrunken Head, so they know that this is probably going to be a Rax, but Fitsky doing all he can as far as counter push. Don't think it's going to be enough, though.
I don't think so. Plague Rider coming back in, but level 9 or level 10, well, still has a little bit of time left on that ultimate. Magnus could have gone in for a kill right there, but of course you don't want to get overconfident in this position. You just want to take your racks, get what you came for, and get out safely. It's exactly what Complexity did. 15,000 gold, 7,000 experience up, 27 minutes into this game with a racks. All right, they had their throw. I think they're back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Noob G got out of position there a little bit. Maybe got a cocky because he was having the Shrunken Head delivered to him, and just wasn't expecting the jump at that time. I can't recall exactly how it all set up. He's actually looking for a kill onto Magnus. Might get it. One more auto attack. He does get the kill onto Magnus. So Noob G saying that he's still in this game and dishing out lots of damage. I'll say that much.
Yeah, Legionnaire actually getting kind of close to Franzi as well, but didn't have the portal key available. So, I mean, as a Magnus, what can you really do? If there's a Dark Lady and she's going to get on you, what do you need to have available to actually get away in that situation?
Avoid Talisman.
Okay.
Completely a Void Talisman needs to be purchased by B-Kid. And I think he actually has purchased in full his Health Flowers just in the base, but once he does get that, it's going to be a Void Talisman. I mean, look at Moon. He's got a Void Talisman on frickin' Wretched Hag. So he knows that that's the one scariest thing coming out from tdM is the Dark Lady going on Wretched Hag. And speaking of which,
she's going to hit that green triangle and try to get out of there. Blink does come in, and a nice kick from Franzi just to secure the escape. It's the Hellflower, and Hag will TP on away. So, yeah, Void Talisman, very, very nice item to have.
Yeah, you saw it come into play right there. And you don't think of Wretched Hag as being one of those heroes that I need the Void Talisman, but it clearly worked out. And was clearly a smart pickup there by Moon.
Yep, worked out very well for him. Riser going with the Barrier Idol. So Complexity, of course, with their they're trying to push, just trying to get into the enemy base. Of course, going to be a nice item to have to prevent any anti-push coming out from the bubbles from the Luna, something like that. Do you prefer getting that Barrier Idol though over something like maybe a Soul's Bulwark?
I haven't played enough Keeper to understand, like to really have that huge of an opinion, but I do have an opinion that I think Barrier Idol is extremely strong and should be picked up on like every lineup, especially against a Plague Rider in particular. It's going to mitigate basically the entire ultimate. You know, if it bounces to a number of different targets. So double damage on Silhouette. Oh my God! Almost found her mark on the Legionnaire. Could have been really bad.
Very, very close to finding that one, but he does portal key away just in time. Haxerin still farming top in the game, 560 gold per minute. With that double damage hitting for just under 300. And she's actually gone for a Geometer's Bane. So like you said, the Geo Bane going to be able to cleanse the silence so that she can try to hit the Shadow. But if she doesn't time it perfectly, could very, very well be reapplied immediately. And so you think she's going to be going for a Shrunken Head next, then that she doesn't get caught out as easily by Dark Lady. Speaking of catching out right there, though, Hellflower being applied onto a Luna. The auto attacks to finish her off. And Fitsky gets caught out of position once more, but yeah, the Shrunken Head.
For Silhouette, well, her thinking is probably Legionnaire can... Oh, speaking of Legionnaire, here we go.
Yeah, they're coming in right here. There's the Lava Surges. Legionnaire already used the taunt. Good keg coming in. Energy field's there as well, and Minuts will go down. Hasted Limp going to be trying to escape on Bubbles. It looks like he is going to be just fine. There's the portal key on Silhouette, though, and she does have a tree grapple available in just a few more seconds. Hack going to come on in, activates the Hellflower. The Haunt is there as well for the slow. Death Lotus and the auto attacks to finish him off. Moonmander actually picks that one up, and tdM votes to concede. Root not going to be used just yet, but GG well played's coming out, and that is it. Complexity takes the game in 30 minutes over Trademark eSports.
Yeah, this game was won by the bottom lane. It was completely decided by the bottom lane, and it's the farming Magnus. Like, what does he have? Steam Boots portal key by like freaking 8 minutes, and they got a kill. They push a tower. He used that portal key right after to push the mid tower and get some more kills, and just snowballed. And with a slight throw there in the middle, they still came back on top with having so much farm on the Silhouette.
Yeah, there you go. But worked out and be very interesting to see because we mentioned it a couple of times. We haven't seen the farming Magnus by Complexity in a long time. Coincidentally, well, they haven't been doing as well recently. Maybe there's a correlation there. Gonna need to bring back the Swagmas to get their groove back on and resume their place at the top of the scene. Well, we'll see. Probably getting into some more scrims here in just a moment, though, guys. This has been Beef and Tralf bringing you coL versus Trademark for Complexity Presents Scrimcast Live. And Tralf, thank you very much for casting.
Yeah, no problem.
You going to be able to stick around for some more if we go into some more right away?
Yep, I will be.
All right. Well, any shout-outs before we go to a quick break?
Nah, I have no shout-outs.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for that game. We're going to go to a real quick break while we get the next game set up. Shout out to Complexity Gaming for all the support of coLcast, and of course to both of the teams, Trademark and Complexity Han, for showing up and putting on a show for us. Also to QSQ and Lions, casted some of their matches this morning. And, well, make sure to stay tuned right here to coLcast all day long. Going to be doing some more scrims, going to be doing some Han Tour, either live or from replays, and then some Sound Blaster Heroes. They go a little bit later in the day. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with more Scrimcast.